Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our special event live stream, Facebook live stream this morning to talk about the government's announced JobKeeper package that was announced yesterday afternoon by the Prime Minister and the Treasurer. For those of you who aren't familiar with me, or this is the first time that you've joined us, welcome. My name's Bron Pearson. I'm the CEO of Pinnacle People Solutions, and welcome to our daily Facebook Live update. Pinnacle People Solutions provides regionally based small to medium enterprises and not-for-profit organisations all of their human resource services and solutions, and we're here to help you and your business through these challenging COVID-19 times. Usually I'll be live at 9:15 every weekday with updates on new information and more detailed information about topics related to staffing and business management. Today is a special one at 8:30 due to last night's announcements about the JobKeeper payment and the fact that I have to give a lecture at 9 o'clock. So please ask any questions you have as we go along, and I'll do my best to answer them. Outside of this, you can contact me and my team anytime via Facebook Messenger, email or telephone. The details are in the comments. We're also going to be making sure that our Facebook live stream, which are also recorded, of course, every morning, will soon be appearing on YouTube and also on LinkedIn. We realise not everybody is Facebook connected, and so that's what we'll be doing. So stay tuned for more information in respect of that. So the big announcement, of course, that came down yesterday afternoon was 130 odd billion additional support package from the federal government with the intention of supporting employers and employees through this very difficult time. I'm going to give you an overview of this. We've only got 20 minutes this morning, I'm sorry, so I will attempt to answer as many questions as I can. Others I will take on notice, and we will provide an answer up on our Facebook page within 24 hours. So the new JobKeeper payment, as it's been termed, the government anticipates that 6 to 7 million Australians, or half of our working population, will be eligible. So the question is, what is it? And for eligible businesses, it's a wage subsidy of $1,500 per fortnight before tax per employee or eligible employee, and we'll talk about eligibility in a moment, as at the 1st of March 2020. So that was staff you had that are eligible that were employed by you on the 1st of March. It can be claimed from the 30th of March, so yesterday, for a maximum of 6 months, and will be paid through the tax office to businesses directly or eligible businesses directly from early May through the single touch payroll system as we understand it. This morning, through the broadcast, the live stream, you'll notice in the comments that my wonderful team are putting up links for you and information for you as we go along. We'll make sure, of course, that they are provided on our website and in other places that we frequent, also to make sure that everybody can have access to those. Okay, so the eligibility criteria for businesses is that if your business turnover is less than 1 billion, and turnover will be reduced by more than 30% relative to a comparable month sometime in the last 12 months, or your revenue is over 1 billion, that would require you to have a 50% reduction or anticipated reduction in turnover in order to be eligible. So the question, does it cover? And the answer to that is it covers all full-time and part-time employees who are currently employed by you as a business owner or were employed by you as at the 1st of March 2020 and can be reinstated if you've already had to stand them down or make them redundant. Plus, all casuals who have worked with you on a regular basis for at least 12 months. So full-time and part-time employees who are currently employed with you or who were employed with you as at the 1st of March that you may have had to stand down or make redundant, plus all casuals who have worked with you on a regular basis for at least 12 months. Those staff have to be at least 16 years old. There are also citizenship and visa requirements, so please check these details if that might affect your staff, and we will have links for you to be able to be clear about what those visa and citizenship requirements are. It also covers businesses without employees. So if you're self-employed with an ABN, then eligibility for this payment still applies. So what to do next? First and foremost, very importantly, register your interest in applying for the JobKeeper payment with the ATO. The link is going to be provided in the comments for today's session. I think in the first hour last night after the announcement, some 8,000 businesses had already registered on the ATO site. So do that, get up there and register. Even if you're not sure at this stage whether you might be eligible, get up there and register. Talk to your accountant about whether your business will be eligible based on the turnover reduction requirements. And again, we're just waiting to get the minutiae about that. There'll be an online application that you'll need to fill out from the ATO. They will be, as soon as you register, you're in their system and they will send you further information as the details are rolled out and we get some more information about what the specifics of the requirements are. Gather information about your staff and their eligibility as well. Now, we can help you with that, of course, but it's very important to have that information to hand so that you can jump on this as soon as we get further information. First and foremost, however, register with the ATO. More information is due to come out about applying online in the next week or so. Most importantly, first step is to register with the ATO for further information, and that information will be coming out. We will obviously alert you as soon as we get further information about that. We're obviously always here to help. You can contact us anytime, and we're available to help businesses to, establish just what they're entitled to, whether they're eligible, all of those sorts of things. So I have some questions that have already come through, and I'm just going to have a look here in the stream. Thank you very much. My team have invited you to ask any questions that you have. I'm just going to bring up the questions document that we have at the moment. So bear with me just one moment while I bring this up. Okay. So some of the questions that we've already had after this announcement, of course, as you can imagine, the phones and the email and text messaging was running hot. Is the $1,500 per fortnight before tax? The answer to that question is yes. So that is a pre-tax amount per employee. One of the other questions that we've had is that, what about my employees who earn less than $1,500 a fortnight before tax? The answer to that question is that you need to provide them with the full $1,500 per fortnight. It is up to you whether you pay super on the difference between what they would ordinarily earn per fortnight and the top-up amount to the $1,500 per fortnight. That is up to you at this point, but you're still obligated to pay superannuation on the amount that they would ordinarily earn. I've had a question, I've already let my workers go, can I bring them back? The answer to that is an absolute yes. There are, if you've got employees that you've stood down or you've made redundant and you want to bring them back, then the answer to that question is yes. My advice would be to give us a call and talk through exactly how you go about doing that. You have certain obligations that you need to make sure that you meet. If you've paid out entitlements to staff or they're on a period of paid leave perhaps before a stand down commences, then give us a call and we'll work out how you can make sure to do this properly. If you've already paid entitlements to somebody that you let go at some point from the 1st of March onwards, then it may be that that person needs to reimburse those amounts and in order to come back onto your books, and that would just reinstate their entitlements. So give us a call and we can talk you through how you go about doing that. If I've stood down my employees and they are on annual leave, can I still claim the payments for them? The answer to that is yes, but you need to bring them back. So if you've got stood down staff, then you need to bring them back in order to be able to claim the payment. So they need to come back onto your payroll. And as I said, we can help you with dealing with any entitlements that have been already paid out. If they're on annual leave, either just routinely or any form of leave actually, but they're still employed by you, or they're on a period of paid leave in anticipation of a stand down period, then yes, you can still claim the payments, but you need to bring them back and retain them on your payroll while you're claiming those payments. My business is closed. Can I still bring staff back and claim JobKeeper for them while the business remains closed? The answer to that question is yes. Now, bear in mind that you are going to be obligated to pay their superannuation on that, on the minimum that they earn. So you need to factor that in as well. So it would be important for you to talk to us about that. But yes, the government's intention is that the reason that they've included all staff that were employed by you as at the 1st of March is that they're trying to capture a proportion, at least, if not the majority of the staff who've been stood down by organisations since that time, and have them go back on to the payroll of the organisation for the duration of what would otherwise have been the stand down. Bearing in mind that this payment at the moment is for a period of 6 months. So we don't know what might happen beyond that, but there is a commitment to 6 months. The next question I've had is, what if I have 2 part-time jobs? What if both employers want to keep me employed? Who do I claim the job seeker payment from if it can only be one? And it can only be one. Now, this is information we have actually sought further clarification from, because there'll be lots of people who fit into part-time and or casuals doing regular work for over 12 months for more than one employer. So we're getting advice on that. So that's a watch this space. We will answer that question to the best of our ability in the next 24 hours. At the moment, it's very clear you can only claim JobKeeper from one employer. So how that's going to work if you've got 2 who want to keep you, we're getting further advice. So watch this space. My employees usually earn more than $1,500 a fortnight. Do I have to top this up to their usual wage? The examples that the Treasury have provided, they've given a couple of hypothetical examples of businesses, and the indication certainly is that if somebody is on your payroll now, you're planning to claim job seeker, you're eligible, they're eligible, and they earn more than $1,500, then you would continue to pay the top up to their normal wage. Can I change their contracts so that they earn $1,500 a fortnight now? No, I wouldn't think so. We're getting further information and clarification as we speak, but no. If they're employed by you, as of yesterday, they're on your payroll and they earn more than $1,500, and you are eligible and you get the $1,500 per person, you would have to still pay them the difference between that and their normal pay. Can I pay them $1,500 a fortnight and ask them to take annual leave for the rest? There are provisions in all of the modern awards in respect of requiring staff to take annual leave, and we can talk you through how you might do that in combination with having them take part annual leave, but we'd need to talk about that and look at that in greater detail. My employees usually earn less than $1,500 gross per fortnight. Do I have to pay them the full amount? The answer to that question is yes. So there will be some staff who normally would earn under that with you, who you need to give the full $1,500 gross per fortnight to. Obviously, less tax. And you'll need to provide proof that you're passing on the payment in full to all of your eligible staff. So, as I said, it looks like this is going to be done through the single touch payroll system, through the ATO. So you're going to need to continue to affirm to the ATO and provide evidence that they remain on your payroll. This payment doesn't cover superannuation. You still need to pay that. But superannuation on earnings more than usual are optional for the employer. So in that instance of my employees earn less than $1,500 gross a fortnight, do I have to pay them the full amount? The answer is yes, you do. But in terms of having to pay them super on the amount of that is greater than what you would normally pay them, that is entirely up to you at this point. One of the other questions I've had is if I've stood staff down and I want to bring them back under this JobKeeper package, am I paying them the JobKeeper amount or am I paying them the salary that they had before stand down? Now, the example that's provided on the Treasury handout, which the details of which have been included in our comments here by my staff, thank you very much. The thing to bear in mind with that is that the example that they've given, which is of a beautician that stood down staff and wants to bring them back under the JobKeeper allowance, says that they would be paid the JobKeeper allowance and provides the option for whether or not the employer wants to pay super on any additional amount up to the $1,500 that a staff member might now get, which might be more than they got before they were stood down. What they haven't actually yet addressed overtly is the question of the salary of the staff who you did stand down, whose salary is over $1,500, which is the JobKeeper payment. It would appear that the only amount paid to staff in that instance would be the JobKeeper payment, but we need to get further clarification on that. So that is something that we will seek further clarification on. Obviously, this is a moving matter in terms of clarification and further information and so forth. It hasn't yet even been legislated. So because we're doing these live streams every morning, we will be updating you every 24 hours on things that have come to light in that period of time, including this very important safety net initiative that's been introduced. I'm conscious we have 2 more minutes before today's live stream ends. I've tried to preempt questions based on the feedback we've already had. One of the questions, just final questions that we've had is that what if the reduction in turnover is somewhat voluntary for a business, i.e. my business was not forced to close, but I felt it was not safe for my employees to be working, or I'm a professional and not billing clients at the moment because I know they can't afford to pay and usually pay on invoice rather than receipts. Okay, so what we have been told at the moment is if you're earning under $1 billion as a registered business, either as a sole trader or somebody with staff, and you otherwise meet the eligibility criteria. The eligibility criteria are that your business has to have seen reduced turnover. It doesn't say how, except that it has to be COVID related, and we're not sure what the demonstration of that is going to be, or whether it will simply be, confirming, providing confirmation in some determination determined by the ATO as to what that looks like. That your turnover is going to drop by 30% or more. So I think watch this space in terms of that question. There's a lot of businesses at the moment who are doing their best to help their communities and their clients, and perhaps behind the scenes starting to try and work out how and what of that is billable. So I'm sure there's going to be many businesses in this situation. The only criteria we have at the moment is that 30% reduction in turnover. So watch this space. We'll give more information as soon as we have it. Naomi has asked, would you mind touching on businesses that are currently closed due to the current public health orders? They remain closed but pay staff this JobKeeper allowance, right? Yes, Naomi, that's the case. If a business has closed and needs to remain closed, there will be some businesses that have partially or fully closed as a consequence either of a government directive or because their patronage has dropped off so much they're not viable. The options there, if you're under a government directive to remain closed, then you remain closed, but you can be eligible for this and pay your staff this rather than having them stood down. And that's certainly the government's intention of this package. If you're closed or you're partially closed, you've had to stand some staff down, and this would give you an opportunity to restart some elements of business or have your staff working in certain elements, then that's certainly an intention of this as well, to provide that support. I hope that's answered the question sufficiently, Naomi. Please give us greater clarity as to the areas that you want further information on. I'm conscious that it's 8:51, so we're 1 minute over. I'm going to end the live stream now. Would encourage you though to keep asking questions. Send them through email, Facebook Messenger, any of the social media channels. We're on pretty much all of them, I think. I hope this has been helpful. We will be up again tomorrow morning. Just bear with me a moment while I go to, so tomorrow we've actually got, not myself, although I might appear at the beginning to give an update on JobKeeper and other initiatives. The other initiative I need you to be aware of too, actually just reminding me, is that the partner pay for eligibility for job seeker allowance, so that's unemployment benefits, the two components that now exist for that, has been raised from $48,000 a year to between $79,000 and $80,000 a year. So if you've lost your job or your partner has lost their job and they're not brought back under JobKeeper, and they're looking to register for job seeker allowance, your partner's income threshold has now been increased from 48 to between 79 and 80. So that's another important factor to bear in mind. So I realise we've gone a couple of minutes over time. So tomorrow I will give a quick Q&A and a quick update on the last 24 hours, followed by, we have a different presenter tomorrow, and that is Jessica Pearson, our registered and consultant psychologist. She's going to be talking about mental health strategies for worried business owners in the current uncertainties. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you have specific questions about your business, this is now a really urgent area, I'm sure, for a lot of businesses. So if you have specific questions tailored relating to your business, or you want us to help you out, contact us anytime. Email, Facebook, etc. We're 24/7 responsive at the moment. Tomorrow, as I said, Jess will be focusing on mental health strategies. So please invite your colleagues and friends to join us tomorrow. Stay safe, wash your hands, stay at home unless you absolutely have to go out. Keep that 1.5 metre distance when you do, and don't come into contact with more than one person. And we'll see you tomorrow. Okay.